Open for Business is presented by Eagle Broadcasting Corporation and Globe My Business. Create your success.
Open for Business is brought to you by Lobien Realty Group, building lasting partnerships.
Open for Business is presented by Globe My Business. Create your success.
This portion is brought to you by Lobien Realty Group, building lasting partnerships.
Business, and we are here with Miss Sheila Lobien, the lady CEO of the Lobien Realty Group. Miss Sheila, thank you for coming back to Open for Business.
Always great to be here, brother. This is my second time, sir.
Yes. So you made the big leap from being a corporate executive to the lady CEO of the business that you have set up, the Lobien Realty Group. What's your experience on that big leap? A lot of employees would wish to have to experience that, and they may learn a lot from you this afternoon on how to make that big leap. Can you share your experience?
My experience so far, I feel like it's the same because when I was in the previous company, I have this entrepreneurial spirit already. So it's not really a big shift. I'm still responsible for my people right now, my own deliverables, what I want to achieve. It's the same. It's just that there's no big company behind me, but I'm doing everything for the team. We have a great team, and I think it's somehow very similar, the environment and the way we work as well.
I mentioned in the opening earlier, Ms. Sheila, that there's a lot of challenges for women entrepreneurs, and sometimes the challenges are even more daunting than your male counterparts. For some time now, you've been dealing with in a male-dominated area. Can you cite some of your challenges as in business as a female corporate executive?
I think I feel blessed that I have a lot of supporters and friends, and my family. They're always there helping me. In terms of challenges, I would say in this business we always have to think ahead. We have to know what's happening in the market. So if you're not doing that, then that's really a problem. So in what we do, we always meet our clients, meet our people, learn what they need, and do our best in delivering that. And I think if in whatever industry you'll be, if that's the mindset that you have, that you always have to learn, do better, and deliver something that is valuable, I think we'll be able to do well.
It's a brand new company, the Lobien Realty Group. Can you tell us more about the services that you provide? I've seen, your bumper earlier, your
Yes.
videos, and you're also very active on social media. Can you tell us about the services
That
of
we do. So I
Lobien?
feel like it's a continuation of what we have been doing in the last how many years now. We help corporate companies. We
Yes.
help building owners and developers also in terms of filling up their properties. We advise them on what to do. And if you're a corporate clients, the big multinational firms as well, we also give them advice and help them find their their homes in the CBD wherever they want. So it's basically matchmaking, servicing them, telling them what's the best way if they want to expand, they want to relocate, they want to move in the provinces or elsewhere. It's that kind of service. At the same time, we also have what we call property sales and acquisition. If you want to buy properties, if you want to buy commercial lots, we have listing, we have our list, and we can advise you also for if this is the particular property, what to do with that, what's the best way to optimize that as well.
It's very interesting that you mentioned about the market and your specific clients. I would like to know how you view the market now, because I know that there's a lot of competitors, and with the build program of the government. I just attended the business outlook briefing, and also one of the sectors, there are a lot of sectors now that's booming. Tourism, we have cement because
Yes.
of the, so even the property sector, there's a lot of demand. How do you now describe the real estate, the property market now, and what's your we get a lot of feedback that it's going to pick up. But as you are already immersed for decades in the
The
sector,
property market.
how do you see the market now?
The property market is still very healthy. In fact, there's a lot of demand for office space. If you go around Metro Manila, the vacancy rate is very, very low, meaning almost all the buildings that is finished are fully leased. And that's because
Really?
of big multinational firms who are also here expanding the outsourcing industry. Aside from that, I've mentioned this in the past, the gaming industry, the Chinese companies who are already here taking chunks of spaces in the Bay Area, and they go as far as Quezon City now, all over Metro Manila. So the market is very healthy, and that's why I believe strongly that there is a place for us, because it's all about relationships and connections in the market. And as I've said, the demand is still very strong. The market is still booming. That's why, for me, we have to support the Build project, so that even the provincial areas will benefit from that. If locations are easily accessible, then that would be good for the real estate market as well.
That's good that you mentioned specific sites, like you mentioned about the Manila Bay Area, and also based on the support of the government in terms of infrastructure development. There's a lot of movement in the other provinces as well, in the
Yes.
other regions. How do you see the improvement or the movement of infrastructure development and the property market in the regions aside from Metro Manila?
I think the current government is really supporting that. We want to move the modernization, the urbanization outside Metro Manila, because Manila right now is very congested. So provincial areas that has the talent, meaning people, companies would always go out of Metro Manila if they have the talent, the labor that they can employ in that particular town. And if the infrastructure is also right, meaning there's power, good internet connection, telephone lines, everything working, not flooding, then that area would grow. And right now we see that happening. Even the PEZA accreditation, the buildings are being approved outside Metro Manila because we want developments to also go outside Metro Manila.
And your company is also catering
Yes,
to
yes.
companies outside Metro
Outside
Manila.
Metro Manila.
Which
So-
of the provinces outside Manila would you think would be the next? Because we also see there's also what they call the smart cities,
Yes,
the
yes.
wave of the smart cities, the next wave. What
Yes.
specific areas in the country do you think will boom in terms of your market?
Well, Cebu will always be there, Davao, of course, but near Metro Manila is Clark.
Okay, Clark, correct.
And of course, Cavite and Bulacan also. We hear a lot of our clients. looking
Yeah,
at
because
those-
of a lot of infrastructure.
yes, a lot of infrastructure.
Like the airport, the new airport will be what
yes,
else?
MRT7. So those areas will be very accessible now from Metro Manila. And that would mean developments also and employment, and BPO companies can look at those areas now because it's very near Metro Manila.
Okay, so because of that, of the urbanization also, and it goes now to the different provinces, we're also looking at some opportunities of co-working, co-sharing. I think that's one of the discussions with the previous episodes we're in.
Yes.
It's a new concept. It's a modern concept.
Yes.
How will these new concepts help you with your servicing your specific accounts, specifically on the corporate side? Because a lot of the BPOs now will companies or new companies will approach you in terms of co-sharing. Do you have specific services that cater to that?
Well, we help everyone. We help a lot of multinational companies find their office space. However, the co-working, the serviced office is growing right now. And it's not really new because, well, long time ago, I started in that business as well. I had a company, a big multinational firm, who is a pioneer of the serviced office co-working environment here in the Philippines. And that, I think, is not a trend. It's here to stay because, as you've said, the entrepreneurial spirit of Filipinos, it's growing, it's there. And the flexible office spaces is helping a lot of entrepreneurs out there because you don't have to pay for, you don't have to spend for the capital expense to build an office. You can be there right away, rent a table, and then tomorrow you'll be in hundreds. And you can easily expand everywhere because they're located all over the Philippines and all over the world. And the beauty of that is you can also shrink anytime. So in terms of risk, it's they're taking that over. So it's very flexible, and companies, even the big ones, are appreciating the co-working environment now because if they need to expand right away, they can go in a temporary office while they're building their permanent space. And it's growing all over the Philippines also.
Okay, wow. Now let's go back to our topic, women in entrepreneurship. Okay, I know also that you are involved with women in business
Yes.
of a specific chamber of commerce.
The European Chamber.
Yes, can you talk about how you hone the talents of women, how you encourage them to go into business?
Well, it depends actually on the aspiration of the women who are attending the event. But it's a platform. We want women to come together and inspire each other. That's the main thing that we want. We have a lot of women friends who are in the business and who are in the corporate world also. That European Chamber of Commerce Women in Business, we want to see to look at it as a platform wherein they can meet successful women, exchange ideas, hear from them, and then be inspired, and then learn from them also. They can also mentor each other, right? It's like myself, I have a lot of women friends who are older than me, very experienced, and they're somehow my mentors and my idols, and I learn a lot from them. So the European Chamber Women in Business is somehow like that. We do have several events every other month, and the goal is for us to inspire more women out there, young women, to also participate, be financially independent, knowledgeable about their careers, what they want to have in life, and create their own path also, and dream big. And if they need mentors, help from us, we're there to support.
Mhm. Also, during the opening statement that I made,
Yes.
there's a lot of challenges of women in entrepreneurship. One, of course, would be how women are taken seriously in the boardroom, and how they can get funding, and how they can really manage in the male-dominated workplace. In your and you were cited by one of the sites that as one of the most powerful women in the property
Thank
sector.
you.
So, how do you manage being a woman to really on top of the game? So, because there's a lot of entrepreneurs, or who or would be entrepreneurs who are watching now. What are your tips to be on top of the game, and how do you go through the workplace? As we know that there's just a few of you. Actually, there's a lot of women in the workplace, but for CEOs, so far you're still the minority. So can you cite some of the your strategies, your tactics, as where you make your being a female an advantage rather than a disadvantage?
So I always feel that being a woman is an advantage, and in the Philippines we do have a lot of support. I have my family, my husband there, always supporting us, and I have a great team. I think it's easy to have your own business also and do well in your career here in the Philippines, because we have the luxury of having our house help. Unlike in other countries wherein you do everything, right? You take care of the family, you do the laundry, etc. when you go home, aside from doing well in the office. But in the Philippines, we have the help that we need. And so all you have to do is focus on your career, your goals, have a great team. And somehow, if you're there, you really have to study it, because if you're good, a lot of people will support you and they will believe in you, right? Your credibility will be there. Your track record will tell them that you can deliver, and it doesn't matter whether you're a female, you're a man. I mean, if it's gonna be your work, it's your performance that would count, and not whether you're a man or a woman, right?
Okay, that's nice. Later, when open for business returns, we will ask Miss Lobien, how is it to start up a business? What are the challenges that one has to hurdle to open up a business here in the Philippines? We know that we have the ease of doing business now, but is it really easy for anybody to open up a business? Open for Business will return. Stay with us.
This portion is brought to you by Lobien Realty Group, building lasting partnerships.
We are open for business, and with me is Ms. Sheila Lobien, the CEO of Lobien Realty Group. The question that was hanging earlier was how hard or easy is it to open up a business in the Philippines?
My experience, actually, I will not say that it was easy. It's okay, doable if you have the right support. As I've said, I've been in this industry for quite some time, so I'm lucky because I have friends who are in the business also, who gave me advice and who helped me. So I think if you're financially ready, mentally and emotionally, it's doable. It's not that hard, I would say.
So do you think that you are feeling, entrepreneurs are now feeling the ease of doing business act or the law. I think what's lacking now is the IRR of that. Did you feel it? Is it not hard for you to set it up from the business registration to
Well, right now there are a lot of support, right? And you can outsource. So that's the in thing now. There's the BPO industry, the outsourcing. So I outsource it to my friends. I have lawyer friends, accountants, and so they help us. That's why for me, I think it's doable as long as you have the right connection and people are really there to help you.
So that's a very practical tip because unlike before, you have to do everything. You
On
have to
your own.
line up on your own. You have,
You
but
still can
now,
do that.
yeah, you can still do that. But right now, a lot of it are because of technology.
Yes.
Parang you can just easily go to a specific website
Yes.
and just do your own registration.
It's easier compared
It's-
to a long time ago. And as I've said, you can outsource it if you like.
You also, because you mentioned about outsourcing, again, it reminded me that there's a lot of demand from the BPOs for office spaces. Is it still the trend?
Well, last year there was a little, I would say, slowdown, but it's getting up again. And we didn't feel that in the market because, as I've mentioned, the Chinese gaming, they entered the Philippine market. And so the land values and rental prices all over Metro Manila have gone up. And that's why you see a lot of cranes all over. The tourism industry is also growing because domestic tourism is also growing, not just here in Metro Manila, but outside Metro Manila, all over the country. We actually benefited a lot from all these growth right now in the Philippines.
Now, can you walk me through, Ms. Sheila, on how I would approach your company for your specific services? Okay. So you have, I think, three major services.
Three major things, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The first one is...
The first one is we call ourselves the project leasing.
Okay, for project
representative.
for project leasing, if I am now a company or
an investor. It's for investor developers.
Okay,
Yes.
so I would call Lobien. So how would I go through that
Well,
specific project?
There are different types of investors and developers. Some are the big ones, so the likes of Ayala, SM, Mega World, those guys, they have a lot of portfolio office spaces all over Metro Manila, and they would still come to us because they know that we have a good reach, we have good connections in the corporate world, multinational companies and clients that we have, and we can bring them their way. So that's one, and we can also advise them on the type of buildings that these tenants are looking for. So that's the first one. And then there are other types of investors who are not really in the real estate market, but they still want to do office spaces. And we can come in and we can help them. We can advise them on what to do, what type of building would sell. If they do not know any contractors in the market, we will also come in and give them advice on who is the best contractors or architects that they can tap to be able to deliver the kind of office space that they want.
So even you can even advise them on the type of design, the architectural,
yes. So we
the
work
fitting.
with the whole team.
Okay.
We work with the contractors, the engineers, the architects, and we put that together depending on what the landlord or investors have in mind. So we are the consultants for the building owners and investors.
So that's for project leasing.
That's for project leasing.
Okay, and
for
then the
project
other
sales
service.
and marketing.
Okay.
The other service I would say is the tenant representative, or
Okay.
big multinational firms would look for office space if they want to expand or relocate or sometimes shrink, but we don't want that. We have not seen that, luckily, because the market is very strong.
And that is my question. A
Yeah.
lot of the big brands in the world
Are already here in the
coming
Philippines.
here.
Yes.
We have Google, we have Facebook,
Yeah.
we have
All the big
is that JP
companies. Yes, Morgan.
They are here. Why are they all coming here?
And well, brother, it's because the talent, the Filipinos, very young English-speaking population, average age of 24 years old, can speak English well, And that's why they're here. They can employ all these hardworking Filipinos.
Okay, go ahead with your with the service. That's the
Yes.
second one.
Yeah.
Tenant
Representation. Yes. So that's for multinational firms. So
Okay,
we
how
advise
do you
them.
go through that?
Yeah,
so
so-
I would call you,
Yeah.
or you will
Yeah.
present your portfolio.
Normally, big companies like that, they have plans, right? So
Mhm.
when they're not in the Philippines yet, we help them to identify which location is best for them. And then some who are already here would say, oh, I want to relocate. I'm already in, let's say, Makati. I want to go to BGC. I need a bigger space. So we would be the one to help them and to guide them in the process. We'll identify all the office spaces in the market and we'll help them relocate as well. So that's what we do. It's also an advisory and consultancy work for the big multinational firms and even local companies who are here and needing office space or commercial space as well.
You mentioned earlier about the Bay Area, but we're
Yes.
also looking at BGC as a very very
It's the most expensive
Really?
real estate
right
land
now. So
yes.
BGC is the most expensive, followed
Yes.
by
Makati.
Makati.
In terms of number of square meters also.
And then?
BGC has more now compared to Makati.
I see. So BGC, Makati, and then followed by
Ortigas, of course, is
Ortigas.
there. It's an old CBD.
Mhm.
Quezon City, where we are right now. Alabang is also growing. And the Bay Area, as I mentioned earlier, because of the Chinese gaming companies. who
So
are
how do you
relocating
now?
there.
Yeah. So how do you now assess choosing a specific location for a client? Is it based on their budget, or is it based on the sector where they are in, or is it based on the industry where they are? Like for example, if it's Manila
Yeah.
Bay, you're saying there's a lot of gaming
Gaming companies.
areas there. What is usually your basis of advising
Yeah.
in terms of your consultation services?
Normally, they have an idea of where they want to be, but the number one consideration would always be the people, the talent. So if they want, depending on the type of labor market that they're looking for, some clients of ours said, oh, I only want to be in Makati because I hire only engineers, accountants, and these guys, they want to be in a good location, in Makati, and in a beautiful big building. So depending on those things, and there would be clients who would say, oh, I don't care as long as the building is working, it's 24/7, we have internet, etc. I can go as far as Quezon City, as far as Alabang, Bulacan, Cavite. So they have that directives already.
I
So we will
see.
just guide them. We will tell them, oh, this market is like this area is good for that. Because we know the market, we transact on a regular basis, so we can give them a good advice. Hey, that company moved there because it's cheaper. They were able to hire more talent, the talent that you're looking for. So we can really guide them.
Okay, that's very interesting. So we have project leasing, we have
The tenant representation.
and what else? Other
And,
services.
The other one is very straightforward, the property sales and acquisition. A lot of people would just want to sell their properties and we can help them sell that. Some are looking for properties to buy and we can help them also with that. And some, there are people who are landed. They have a lot of properties but they don't have the capacity to build. We can also look for funders for them or people who would help them build it based on what they want, whether they want to make a hotel, office, a residential development. So that's the other side. We call it capital markets or investment sales and property acquisition or disposal.
Before I ask the next question, I'd like to greet George Gonzaga. He's watching from Tarlac City. Alvin Tuazon Cruz from Manila. Julia Copero watching from Montreal, Canada. Yes, she said excellent. Okay, so moving on. So in terms of really providing that specific, the various services to your clients, where is the concentration of your accounts? Are they, are they coming from the foreign investment architects group, or are these local companies? What is the profile of your current market?
So the Philippine market is very sophisticated right now. It's not just the locals. Of course, the investors, the developers are mostly locals. However, the companies who are here are all multinational firms, big Fortune 500 companies. As you've said earlier, almost all the big brands are already here in the Philippines. So it's a mixture of that, an international group, and the local market.
Of the three services that you are offering, what's the balance in it in terms of percentage?
Well, right now, because there are a lot of multinational companies who are here and a lot of developers also doing commercial office spaces, so that's the main thing. And then the property sales investment is on the other side, because as you know, the market is getting smaller. There are many buyers but very few sellers. So it's not that frequent that people would transact, buy and sell. But if there would be transactions, these are mostly big transactions and done in a quiet way. But corporations, the big companies, you'd see them because you'll see it once the sign is up there on the building, right? Like when you go around Makati or Fort Bonifacio or Ortiga CBD, you'd see the names on top of the building. And these are the companies who are here now in the Philippines, employing millions of Filipinos in the outsourcing and in the gaming industry and other industries as well.
Okay. Well, Lobien Realty Group is now, as we say, open for
Open
business.
for business.
Now, what is your vision of the Lobien Realty Group? It's a brand new company, and but with your decades of experience in the as one of the most powerful women in the real estate business, what is your vision of it?
Well, I see it as a big company in the next few years. We feel that it's just a continuation of what we've been doing, as I've said. In this business, it's all about relationship. Business is about people. And that's what we're doing. It's the same, helping our clients, helping our investors grow their business too. And for me, as a woman entrepreneur, I see it as a very good venue for us to also influence a lot of women out there.
Wow, well said. So again, there's a lot of mothers, females, women watching, and some of them are already in business, and some of them would want to create one. What are your top three practical tips to ensure that they'd also be as successful as you are?
Well, they have to know what they're doing. That's number one. They have to be good at it. They have to have that mindset that, as an entrepreneur, you are responsible for so many people. And if you will not do well, of course, it's not going to be easy for your people as well. So you have to be really strong, prepared emotionally, financially, physically. We work 24/7. As long as we're not sleeping, we're working.
Especially if you have clients who are multinationals
Yes.
and they call you, in the middle of the night because that's their morning.
Their morning. Or we wake up at, as early as 5 a.m. to be in the meeting place at 8 a.m. So it can be-
Especially in BGC or in Makati, correct? Okay.
as long as you're enjoying it, I think you'll do well. You know what you're doing, you enjoy it, you have the support, you're giving value to your clients. I think, yes.
It's very interesting. I remember you saying you have a good team because that's also a very important element of having your brand of entrepreneurship. How important is having a good team, and how do you scout a good team?
I'm lucky because I've worked with some of my colleagues right now for the past how many years. Getting the right talent is not that easy. But when you're the leader of the company, you just tell them your expectations. And somehow, I believe they're also inspired because I'm working hard. I'm not just sitting in the office doing nothing. They see me going out, meeting clients, doing what I'm telling them. So they somehow would be inspired as well to do the same, right? To deliver. And they're very important because, as I've said, this is a people business. If they're happy, they will deliver. If they like what they're doing also, they will make all our clients happy. And all the rest will just follow. Money, whatever, will just follow. So for us, what's important is that our people are knowledgeable about the market. They know the business also. They are happy. And we all have one goal. We're all going to one direction. And we complement each other. That's
Perfect. That's perfect. Before we say goodbye to you, I'd like to go on a personal level. What is it in the Sheila Lobien character, that makes the brand, Lobien Realty Group, very strong? What's in it? How is it to be a Sheila Lobien? What's your character traits that you think drives you to continue with this endeavor?
As I've said, I really like what I'm doing. I think people see that I'm passionate with what I'm doing. And I know what I'm doing because, as I've said, I've been in this business for more than a decade.
Okay.
I have good relationships with many of my clients, friends as well, and they're there supporting me. They want to see me succeed. I have a good family also, always there supporting me, cheering me up. And they're my number one critic as well. So the end of the day, I always improve myself. I keep on learning. You cannot be stagnant in this world. You have to always learn and be open. And I think when your goal is to help people, people will also help you.
Wow, that's very interesting. But before, again, we say goodbye. Another thing, can you expound on your tagline, building lasting partnerships? Because with your video, somehow it gives that very strong connection. So
Yes.
can you expound on that? Why did you choose that tagline for the Lobien Realty Group?
We feel it. I personally think that it's a tagline that says a lot about me. Building, I've started this business in this career, leasing, marketing, office buildings all over Metro Manila. That's why it somehow double meaning. Building, at the same time, lasting partnerships, because people that I helped 20 years ago are still there helping me today. So these are the clients who believed in me and up to now supporting me. So we said building lasting partnerships really is who we are, because these are the people who are from the past. They are still here up to now helping us, and we're helping them. So it's really a partnerships. Partnerships, people are coming together, helping each other. And that's why we said that's the best tagline for us.
That's an awesome tagline. And again, Lobien Realty Group is open for business. And we have to say goodbye to Miss Sheila. And we thank her for coming back to Open for here at the set of Open for Business. I hope that she'll be back again and talk about the successes because that's what Open for Business would like to highlight. How entrepreneurs would start and how they have really made it. And I hope to see you again, and good luck to your career. Thank you for watching. But Open for Business will still be back. Our term of the week and our code of the day. When we return, Open for Business will be back. Stay tuned. We are open for business. In our term of the week, you take a refresher of business terms to make you updated and more informed and ready to make smarter business decisions. Our term for the week is lease. A lease is a contract outlining the terms under which one party agrees to rent property owned by another party. It guarantees the lessee, also known as the tenant, use of an asset and guarantees the lessor, the property owner or landlord, regular payments from the lessee for a specified number of months or years. Both the lessee and the lessor face consequences if they fail to uphold the terms of the contract. And our quote of the week is from Melinda Gates. She said, "A woman with a voice is by definition a strong woman, but the search to find that voice can be remarkably difficult." Join us again next Saturday, 5 p.m. Philippine time, for another episode of Open for Business, where we discuss business information, deliver the latest business news to keep you informed and open for business and be ahead of the curve from vision to action. You're on Facebook Live on Eagle News, and you can watch this video again in the video section of the Eagle News Facebook page and on Eaglenews.com and also on the YouTube channel of Eagle News. Also visit postinglife.com for news and updates on Open for Business. Catch me later at 9 p.m. and every Wednesday also at 9 p.m. on Net25's Eagle News International as I report more business news here and around the world. For Business News, this is Cesar Vallejos. Have a great day.
Open for Business was presented by Eagle Broadcasting Corporation and Globe My Business. Create your success.